All right, let's talk about alignment. There are a lot of alignment pieces going on in a lesson plan. And the only thing, let me talk about the lesson plan as a whole. I see the lesson plan really as three components, okay? You have your objective, and you have your assessment, and then you have your instructional components. Okay? I see those as the three major clumps, and all of these have to be aligned. And then over here, we have the anticipatory set. Which can come at any order, can come before the lesson, middle of the lesson, end of the lesson. Doesn't really have to be closely aligned. I'll touch on that right now. My view of the anticipatory set is it has only one goal, okay? It's not bell work, right? It is something to grab their attention, pull them in. That kid in the back of the room who's not interested, paying attention, to grab his attention, okay? Initially, that's it. The job of maintaining the student's attention is the responsibility of the instructional components, right? So, something related to what you're teaching is certainly relevant, but does it have to be perfectly aligned and connected to everything in your lesson plan? I don't think so, because I think its primary and only role is to grab the student's attention. All right, so a quick, exciting, related video clip, an interesting story, something performing an act, think outside the box. And this is probably one of the most difficult things, one of the most difficult components in a lesson, in my view. Sometimes a good lesson can come and stem from an anticipatory set idea, right? Sometimes a good anticipatory set idea can come to you in the middle of designing a lesson. And then sometimes it's an afterthought afterwards, try to come up with something. Okay, so I don't consider this as part of the alignment. This stuff has to be aligned, okay? So we talked earlier in another video about doing it in the right order, right? But let's talk about alignment. So specifically between the objective and the assessment, right? Look closely, right, at the behaviors that you're asking them to perform in the objective and the behaviors that you're assessing. Are they the same? Are there things in the assessment that you're testing, evaluating, that aren't in the objective? Or vice versa? I see that a lot, okay? Specifically, look at what you're telling them to do, and if your assessment is measuring what you're asking them to do. No more, no less. That's alignment here. Now you also have alignment in the instructional components, okay? So look at your instructional components and see that. Let me give you an example. Like, let's say that you are teaching them to change a flat tire, okay? All right. So how would I do that? Well, I want to teach them how to change a flat tire. Okay. So I take them outside. I take them to a car. I have a tire and a jack and all that stuff. And I say, okay, I'm going to teach you how to change a tire. These are the tools you need. This is the process. Jack it up, undo the nuts, take it off, put it back on, safety, those kinds of things. Okay, now let me show you modeling. Okay, let me show you how to do it. I go through the process, I do it, you watch me. Oh, that's good, okay. Next, you try it, and I'm going to watch you and I'm going to help you. Oh, wait, stop. What about this? Oh, yeah, okay, good. And you go through that process, right? Guided practice. Then I say, okay, now go do it. Practice it. I'm going to go over here. You practice it. So they go practice it, right? Independent practice. And then I'm going to assess them. And then I take them inside, I sit them at a desk, and I give them 10 multiple choice true-false questions on how to change a flat tire. You see the breakdown in the alignment? All right? There's no alignment between how we delivered our instruction, what we're asking them to do, and the assessment. Okay? So there's also that intangible, I guess, kind of alignment that I want you to consider. Right? Does it make sense? Am I doing it in a logical way? Right? Because in that scenario with the flat tire I just gave you, you could write an objective, and then you could create an assessment that is measurable and seems to assess changing a flat tire, the behavior. Okay, but is it, in the big picture, is it aligned with the instruction? Right? That's what I want you to think about as well. Let's talk about modeling, because that's an often misinterpreted piece that I see in lesson plans constantly. Actually, it's very, very common. Okay? Modeling is what you are doing to show them the outcome that you want to see. Right? It's not students doing anything. It's you. So, depending on what the behavior is and what the outcome you're looking for, it could have a variety of forms. Math models constantly, right? So if I want to teach solve for X, I'm modeling solve for X in a million different scenarios. That's easily understandable, right? But maybe I'm modeling the outcome by producing artifacts that students have done previously for like a project. Here's an example. You know, here's another example. That's modeling. If I'm asking them to do something where the modeling actually does it for them, there are circumstances where that applies, then you think differently and you model in different ways. Like you might model the concept for a different topic, right? You might model the thinking process of getting there, right? That's all part of the modeling process. So focus your modeling on what you are doing to show them and guide them through getting to the final product that your behavior and your objective wants to see. And it's different for everyone, depending on what it is.